I am doing a resin test on different pigments. I've got a project that I'd like to do in the future. I'd like to check the pigments to make sure they're doing what I want them to do. So in front of me you can see some bits and pieces that I'm going to be using. This hopefully is going to be a really nice pigment. It looks blue on the screen. I'm hoping it's going to be like an iridescent oil slick. Then I've got a choice of 5 mini pigments, as I would call them, from a makeup supplier. And they're all basically the same. I don't know whether you can see them. All really shiny, white based. And those of you that may do it a bit more than I do know that pigments can have different colour bases. I don't think the camera's showing them that well. The light's glittering on them. I'm hoping this is working. My phone says it is, so yeah. Okay. And then in this big box, you can see it says mica powders. Our selection of other colours. Now these aren't the same as those there, because these are more like a pearlescent holographic type pigment, whereas these are just straight pearls. I mean, that one's showing like a blue on the screen, but it's actually a purple. Ooh. Okay, so the plan is, with each of these pigments, I'm going to take a little paintbrush and paint inside the Dominoes mould, one per colour. If I open this up, okay, so that's the mould. It's a silicone mould, so hopefully I should get some good decent mouldings out of that. But what I'm going to do is, as I said, I'm going to take each pigment with a small brush and basically paint round each mould with one colour. So this one will be the first one, and so on and so on. And then once I've painted all the colours that I want to test, I'm going to be mixing up the resin. Got a little bit on my paintbrush. Don't need a lot. Let's see if I've got everything covered. Although these are all supposed to be a easy clean. Again, that's, can you see the different colours shining off of it? So I'm trying to get all the internal surfaces coated. Unfortunately, the resin I'm going to be using isn't a clear resin. It's not epoxy resin. It's standard laminating polyester resin. That one's definitely purpley blue. There's a pinky tinge to that one. There's a very light purpley tinge to that one. I don't know what to describe that one as. These two have got like a greeny tinge. But as I said, this one's like a purple, even though it's showing like a blue on the screen. You can see it says oops, purple on there. There is a couple of metallics in here. That's going to be the next one. Golden blue. Okay. Again, I don't know if you can see that. That's the golden blue. Okay, definitely got to use this one. Coffee. And that's going to be another part of this test. If this doesn't work like this, I'm going to mix them up with polyurethane airbrush varnish and attempt to spray them with my airbrush. Okay, I think I'm just going to do one more full. But I'm going to give it a go. Because this has got bigger particles as well, I don't know how well this is going to work with a paintbrush. That looks pretty good. Let's build some into the one next door. The green. I think for now that's going to be all the colours. Let's just shut this box back up. Right, let's just put that there. Next, I'm going to mix up the resin. Standard milliliter gradients on there. So I can use that to measure the resin with. This is the resin I'm going to be using. It's a polyester resin supplied by a local company to myself. Now I don't know how much I'm going to need, but I think if I mix 100 milliliters, that should be more than enough to fill all those. So I'm going to put in 2%. This is an easier way to handle catalyst. It's a little squeezy jar with a measuring cylinder on top. Do this, you squeeze it and you squeeze out the appropriate quantity. There you go, that's 2 ml there. You can see it's roughly up to 2 ml. It's a case of take one of your sticks and stir it in. Trying not to get too many air bubbles in. Also, with a lot of these resin systems, they'll help you to notice when they're ready to pour. So they'll have a colour change. I don't know whether the camera can show it, but see a very slight green tinge. And I've had this resin for quite some time. When you're handling resins, the usual precaution is to wear gloves. Now our resin's ready. Very carefully try and pour it in to each mould without overfilling. And you want to get a fair bit in there, and you can take it over the top of the mould. Depending on the resin, some resins will shrink. So I don't know whether the camera's not showing it. The mould. Be very careful watching it. Again, in compounds to really get that shine on there. Okay, using a pot of acetone to clean it in. Because I've only used this pot on the stick, I'm just going to spray a bit of acetone in the pot and give it a swish round. All I'm doing with this old brush is just brushing the acetone around to get as much of the resin off. Helps save money and save waste. Okay, once that's all washed off, because it's classed as a hazardous material, it has to be disposed of properly. say, once you've done all that, you need to dispose of that properly. You can't dispose of it down the sink or in the drains. You have to put it into a separate container and then take it to your local council tip, or find out where you can dispose of it and get it disposed of properly, and check first. Anyway, they're all in the mould. I said it's going to take about 20 minutes to half an hour for it to start to set up. So I'm going to say thank you very much for watching this live, and I will do another live when the moulds or the mouldings are solid and ready to be taken out of the mould. Anyway, thank you very much. Hopefully you'll like, subscribe and share this, and hopefully you enjoyed it all. Thank you very much. Take care.